Welcome to our weekly discussion of all things current in California politics. I'm Walt Gray, joined this week by reporter Emily Hoeven, political columnist with the San Francisco Chronicle. Emily, good to see you here on this weekend morning. So you have a column this week in the Chronicle about autonomous vehicles in California, San Francisco area. What's happening with that?
Yeah, so actually this week, the State Public Utilities Commission is set to vote on these resolutions that would essentially allow these autonomous vehicles operated by Waymo and Cruise to be 24/7 paid robo-taxi service in San Francisco. And that would likely be a model that would eventually spread to the rest of California. And so before this vote happened, I wanted to take a test drive. And so I took a test drive in a Waymo vehicle for about an hour. And spoiler alert, I will say it felt safer than a regular vehicle. And I also took several lifts with human drivers that day, and it felt safer. But I also am still uncomfortable with the idea of, all these tech companies, because Waymo is owned by Google, having access to so much more of our personal data than they already do. So I think for me, that's kind of a point that it's hard for me to get past.
Also going on at the Capitol, a placeholder budget. Explain what's going on there.
Yeah, so on Thursday, lawmakers essentially had to pass a budget or forego their own checks. And so what they've been doing for the past couple of years is they will essentially pass a budget that is a placeholder budget, and it allows them to continue getting paid. And what they do is that over the course of the summer, they are going to pass what are called these budget trailer bills that essentially are going to amend the budget after they reach agreement on certain issues with the governor. And they have a lot of contention over several key areas, including climate spending, public transportation spending, child care provider rates, and things like that. And so because they haven't yet reached an agreement, they're like, okay, well, we'll just pass this right now and keep getting our paychecks, and we'll figure it out later.
Figuring it out later. Okay, we've heard that before. Okay, national politics. Governor Newsom's been on Fox News with Sean Hannity. What would it take for Governor Newsom to run for president? And what's Ron DeSantis' most recent comment about what the governor is doing right now, our governor?
Yeah, so Ron DeSantis, he recently had a press conference, and he was asked about Governor Newsom saying on Sean Hannity's show that he would debate Ron DeSantis for 3 hours. And so they asked Ron DeSantis about that, and DeSantis said that, he doesn't understand why Newsom is so obsessed with Florida, and essentially kind of gave him an ultimatum, which was he told Newsom to stop pussyfooting around the presidential question, and if he actually does want to debate, he should just issue a challenge to President Joe Biden and jump into the race himself. But until then, DeSantis said that Newsom is essentially just chirping on the sidelines. And so those are words that I do not think are going to be taken kindly by our governor.
Yeah, well, probably not. But then again, if Governor Newsom is not running for president and DeSantis and Biden are, that is one area. And the governor has chosen not to enter that arena formally, at least for now. Emily, thank you. Always good to see you. And if you'd like to reach out to Emily Hoeven, you can do so via email at emily.hoeven@sfchronicle.com.